Now, Ant-Man 3 wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be, but needless to say, the MCU is in big trouble. Now, it's been some time since the movie's release, and you don't need me to tell you the general opinion on this thing. People have issues with this film, and rightfully so. I mean, the movie is just a mess when you sit down and think about it. But of course, the movie's somewhat polarizing for a reason. I mean, not everything about it is bad, but when I left the theater, there was just one thing that didn't sit right with me. And no, it wasn't the horribly delivered, corny humor.
I have holes!
No, it wasn't. MODOK, I'm not sure why people are so upset over him anyway. He's always been irrelevant, like a B-tier villain at best, so I wasn't even really bothered by his portrayal or even the changes to his origin. It wasn't even the performances of the cast either, to be honest with you. It was actually pretty good. You got some really good intensity in some scenes, you got some wholesome feel-good moments in others. You got a little bit of everything from the cast in this one. And regardless of what people say, it wasn't even the CGI. I mean, yeah, 99% of this movie takes place in a green room. The thing is, it knows that, and it doesn't try to pretend that it doesn't. Like, to be honest, I actually prefer them going all out with the effects and stuff, and yeah, they could make it look better, definitely, but for the most part, we're in the quantum realm, so I can suspend my disbelief. Who cares? So if it's none of those things, what was it? What was the problem with Quantumania? Why is everybody so upset with this film? The biggest issue with this film is actually the one thing that everybody praised about it, and I'm not gonna let Marvel off the hook with this one. The problem with Quantumania was Kang.
You may not want her to watch this.
No, I'm not talking about Jonathan Majors' performance as Kang. That was phenomenal. Give all credit to bro. He is on top of the world right now. I'm talking about the way that Kevin Feige and Jeff Loveness chose to introduce their next big villain, who's better than Thanos, to the masses. This is not how you market, show off, or display your next guy. This is not how you do it. I'm a believer in the opinion that your villain is really what makes your story. And for the most part, the MCU has been able to skate by due to their heroes basically carrying the load when it comes to storytelling. But guess what? You ain't got no Iron Man no more. You ain't got no Captain America. The fans are fed up with Thor, and the fans are starting to see through the writing. To put it simply, if your villain doesn't leave a mark, your movie is going to suffer. And if the villain does a solid job, well, then what do you think is gonna happen? Kang, in a weird way, and I'd say for the first time ever, manages to do both of these things. On one hand, you have this commanding, dominating performance and presence of this character. The design of his suit is amazing. You have his dialogue, which is delivered and is just beast. And then on the other hand, he dies. And not only that, he needs the help of a low-tier Avenger to handle something that he can't. And after I left the movie theater, I just couldn't help but think about the casual audience who just saw this guy die, and then he comes back 10 minutes later as a different version of himself with multiple infinite versions of himself, all of them dressed, acting, and talking differently. What the hell was that? Like, are they trying to confuse people? I mean, look, part of the magic of the MCU was the simplicity of it. Take the Infinity Saga. Purple Man bad. If he gets all the stones, half of universe dead. That is all that the hardcore and casual audiences had to think about. And now we have this guy who has a million versions of himself, and all of them are bad, all of them are strong, and they want to conquer stuff. We'll talk more about Kang's motivation, but it's a bit sloppy. So now we have Kang, who apparently destroyed countless Avengers to the point where he doesn't know their names, he doesn't know what they look like. They blur together in his mind because he's beaten so much of them, he only knows them by the weapons that they used to try to destroy him. This guy is being talked up as the guy to fear, yet he can't even convincingly beat an injured, powerless Scott Lang. And before you say it, yes, Kang was hurt. Yes, Hope came to help Scott. But even if Thanos was chopped in half, I'm taking him over half the heroes roster. And so when you show your audience that not only does your big bad lose to ants, yes, gonna talk about them in a second, it just leaves them with a bad aftertaste. I mean, think about it. To the audience, we took one Kang down. How hard could another one be? He said, wait till we meet your variants, bro. We just did, and we handled him. We didn't even need to call any other Avengers. And with lines like, well, he doesn't look so bad. For Mobius, I mean, it just reinforces that. Like, do you want the audience to fear this guy or not? Because I'm telling you right now, nobody is scared after that first end credit scene. They're probably laughing at this dude, man. I mean, look at how hype he's getting, bro. How am I supposed to take this seriously? And I know we're jumping around a lot, guys, my fault, but I want to take this section of the video to focus on combat and battle strategy, because after all, this is apparently a Kang movie, and so that means we get to see a little bit of what Kang has in a battlefield and stuff like that. But before that, every big bad has their minions, and well, who does Kang have? He has MODOK, the mechanized organism designed only for killing. And truth be told, I actually really like the delivery of the comic booky lines where MODOK is yelling and he's like throwing a tantrum and stuff like that. Certain things like bad effects can really pull you out of the movie at times, but when I hear lines like that, it just pulls me right back in, because it's like, it literally sounds like what I hear in my head as I'm reading a comic book, and I'm imagining kind of what the characters sound like. But yes, MODOK is designed only for killing, fitting to be by the side of such a terrifying conqueror. And well, who does MODOK kill, you ask? Well, absolutely nobody. Bro, why is he even here? Again, MODOK didn't bother me, but it's like, why even pander to the comic book readers if you're not even gonna live up to this man's literal name? It's embarrassing. Getting back to Kang though, his goal is to win, whatever that means. After he tricks Janet to escape the quantum realm, because this is where he was exiled to, he doesn't, because Janet stops him just in time. She like stops the device or whatever, and over however many years, Kang builds Chronopolis, which isn't name dropped in the film, but that's pretty obvious what it is. And no, he didn't need thousands of years to create a technologically advanced, enormous society. Why? Because he's just that damn good, I guess. It kind of makes him a borderline Gary Sue, but I'll allow it. I mean, this is Marvel's next big villain. He can do whatever he wants. But you would think that he would prepare for any type of revolt against the people of this world, because as a conqueror, you should know that people don't want to be conquered, and eventually they'll rise up against you, right? So he sends out patrols in what seems like at all times to basically seek out these revolutionary types of people and eliminate them before they get the chance. But no, there is a revolution anyway. In what seems like every third act from every film we'll ever get from now on, there's a huge revolution and everybody bands together with the help of Cassie, and they storm Kang's headquarters. And Kang, of course, has the supervillain, incompetent bot recruit difficulty army, and they're just pretty much there to delay the inevitable. The inevitable, of course, being Kang losing, because there wasn't a single person who went into this movie thinking Kang was going to beat Ant-Man. Which is another reason why I will keep reiterating this point. This is not how you market your next big villain. And sure, I get it. Putting Kang in this movie, it made sense with the narrative. And hell, it might even fit perfectly down the line when we hopefully have a more cohesive story told. But for now, this will always be a stain on this character. And not to compare the two, but I do want to talk about Infinity War and just kind of the beauty of that film for a second, because this was for the first time ever, we as moviegoers and as fans, we were not confident that our heroes could get the job done against the big bad villain. Even when Endgame came around, there was still something in the back of our minds like, yo, like round 2 with Thanos is not going to be easy. And so why would you slot Kang in a movie where realistically he didn't have a chance in winning? Like, it is so idiotic to me that the first thing that they choose to do with their big bad villain is have him lose. And I get it, right? Ant-Man is the underdog. He isn't the guy that you expect to do anything, which is why he was the big hero pretty much in Endgame, and it's why he gets a solo film with Kang. But the thing is, Ant-Man, or Scott Lang, already got his moment, but Kang is literally 0-2. Not necessarily this version of Kang, but every single Kang we've seen on screen up until this point has been killed. The Ant fight. Throughout the film, starting from when the Ant family lands in the quantum realm, Hank starts to receive some glitchy transmissions through his hearing aid thingy, and lo and behold, when they were transported to the quantum realm, basically by MODOK, who had picked up their signal, some of the ants in the lab actually came with them, but they fell through a time vortex, meaning they were able to advance thousands of years, and they literally created an entirely organized society and all that stuff from the moment when the ant family landed in the quantum realm to the moment where they met with Kang and basically fought him. And just before Kang is about to unleash his power on the growth trio, Hank arrives to the scene and he brought his ants with him. And they overwhelm Kang with the quickness, and off the group goes. They retreat into Kang's headquarters to basically leave back home with the help of Kang's device. And since we're technically still in the combat section, I of course want to tell you guys about all the ways that Kang dealt with these ants. I mean, Kang is a person who himself has acquired a lot of advanced technology over a long time, so what strategies or weapons or even techniques did he use to deal with this enormous, seemingly endless threat? I don't know. And the movie doesn't know either. Yep, Kang comes out of absolutely nowhere just before everybody's about to enter the portal, and all he has is a damaged suit. No, not his face torn to shreds from hundreds of armed 50-foot ants. Nah, nothing like that. He just got his arms out so y'all can see the gains. What the hell is going on? All right, Jeffy boy, so you're telling me that Kang can beat the Avengers, but a bunch of ants can beat Kang. So basically, a bunch of ants can beat the Avengers? That honestly should be the next movie, Avengers Ant Dynasty. Like, bro, are we kidding ourselves right now? Like, Feige, do you want people to just stop watching these movies? Never mind, who cares? Anyway, we get a WrestleMania level slobber knocker between Scott and Kang, both of them just throwing absolute haymakers at each other, and Ant-Man, he makes a desperation play here because, like he said, he doesn't have to win, they just both have to lose. And then he wins anyway and Kang dies. I said this to my brother the other day, man. Like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Like, I might just have to wait until these movies hit Disney Plus or something, bro. Because if this is the villain that we got to get hyped for, my confidence is wavering in the powers that be. I mean, it's bad enough that the MCU crowd is getting all their doomsday talk confirmed. And not only that, you have Jeff Loveness going around in interviews just spatting this absolute nonsense. Why is this man writing the one movie that'll make or break the MCU? Why? Look, I'm not saying that the sky is falling or that none of this is salvageable, because realistically, I think we've been through worse. And contrary to what some might think, there's still a lot left in the Marvel tank so long as they play their cards right. But I gotta say, man, I mean, the first bite of this new meal that is Phase 5, it got me wanting to call the waiter over to bring me a new plate. Like, I still want what I ordered, and I ain't leaving the restaurant, but it's definitely something in the back of my mind. That was a wild analogy, but I hope you guys understand what I mean. Because the prospect of Kang and the multiverse and all these different characters interacting with each other is still something I really do want to see on the big screen. But if it's sloppily handled and just thrown together, then I don't know. I just don't think it's worth the trouble. Kang could both be the best thing about the MCU or the most confusing and downright unnecessary addition to it if they don't plan every minuscule action that this character takes. Let me know what y'all think about this, and let me know what y'all thought about the movie down in the comment section below. Like I said, I don't dislike this movie as much as everybody else, but I ain't watching it again anytime soon. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you all so much for watching. Love you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed your stay. And farewell.